June sick.
I've basically seen all the must-see spots, so now I plan to visit the places I've been keeping an eye on as good spots to fly my drone while wandering around. There was Socrates' prison where debates still go on about whether he was actually imprisoned here or not. If I hadn't noticed the small plague pointing it out, I probably would have just walked right past it. Papas here, where the Papas monument stands, was the one I kept wondering about when I was at Parthenon. It was the first place that came to my mind for flying my drone. From up here, I got this amazing panoramic view of Athens stretching out to the sea with the Acropolis right in sight. If you try to launch a drone right near the Parthenon, you will get a warning message and can't even fly. But if you launch it from a little further away, you're good to go. Of course, if the drone gets too close to the Parthenon, the warning pops up again. It's not easy to find a spot higher than the Acropolis in Athens, but this place stood out, so I made it my second stop. When your destination is up high, that usually means a lot of walking. But having a drone is nice because you can check out how much further you've got to go and what's the views like before you even get there. So before making the final climb, I sent the drone up for a sneak peek. It feels a bit too tall to be a hill, but not quite big enough to be a mountain. It's one of the most popular spots in Athens to watch the sunset. But looking at the terrain, I feel like getting back down after dark could be a bit of a hassle. Everyone was busy taking in the view outside, so it was actually pretty quiet inside. It's said to be the highest church in Athens, but the inside was smaller and simpler than I expected. I went for a lunch at a place that seemed to be in a local spot with no tourist attractions around. It wasn't the easiest place to get to while I was in Athens, but I finally made it. Stepping away from the tourist areas, the vibe felt completely different, something you just don't get in the busy spots. Or just the fact that food was incredible, but this place instantly became one of my favorite restaurants in Athens. Before leaving Athens, I wanted to see the nearby coastline. Stepping away from the Acropolis and seeing the modern side of the city felt like taking a bus from ancient times straight into the future. Aside from the area around the Parthenon, Athens had way more spots for flying a drone compared to other cities I've been to. Of course, I try to make sure I launched it from out-of-the-way places so I wouldn't bother anyone, but people in Greece didn't really seem to care much about it anyway. To go back, I took the bus from a different spot than the one I got off at earlier, and on top of that, I hit rush hour. There were no seats, and the ride took a long time on the way there, but it took even longer coming back. Still, I made it back in one piece. Calling it a goal might be a bit much, but during this trip, I wanted to at least upload one YouTube video. So every night, I worked on it little by little, and I finally got one up. It's only 2 minutes and 48 seconds long, but with the Airbnb's internet, it took almost all night to upload. It really made me see how amazing travel YouTubers are for keeping up with uploads while they're constantly on the move. Starting the day with a dose of caffeine from Fredo once again. I went up the hillside again to get a drone shot of the Panathenaic Stadium. And just my luck, there was a farmer's market going on. I later found out that this market happens here every Friday. Checking out local markets is always something I look forward to when traveling, but randomly running into one makes it even more exciting. They shut down the whole street for the market, and it was packed with locals grabbing fresh ingredients at great prices. It was a bit too lively to call a casual stroll, but honestly, there was no better way to kick off a Saturday. I felt the Athens National Garden that I went to on the first day would also be a good spot for flying the drone, so I went back. It's only been a few days, but it feels like forever since I was last here. This time I actually went inside Zappeion Hall since I skipped it the first time because there was too much to see back then. While traveling, I sometimes feel like seeing a place is a matter of fate, like everything has to line up just right for it to happen. In the end, I only got to see the entrance of Zappeion Hall before heading out. I could have checked if it is always closed to the public or if there are certain hours when it opens, but in the moment, I just felt like this was enough. I thought I had spent quite a bit of time in Athens, but I still keep mixing up gyros and souvlaki. Since tourism is a big part of the city, food around tourist areas tends to be pricey. But I heard about a place where you could get a good meal at a decent price, so I figured it would be a good spot for lunch and went to check it out. Seeing a long line of locals at a cheap spot just got me even more excited. Locals always know where to get good food without the tourist markup. It wasn't just about the taste, because these days getting something to eat for just a few euro is pretty rare. Even before taking a bite, I could see why Athens, like Lisbon, is a hotspot for digital nomads. It definitely wasn't the kind of food you'd expect at a fine dining restaurant, but considering the price, it was really great. There weren't many outdoor tables, so if I had been with someone, one of us would have grabbed a table while the other waited in line to order. But since I was alone, I placed my order, picked up my food, and asked others at the tables if I could join them. It's one of those things I'm still not totally used to when traveling solo. After the quick lunch, I headed to Areopagus here, thinking maybe I could get a closer drone shot of the Acropolis. This spot doesn't require an entrance fee and you can see the Acropolis up close. So if I were staying in Athens longer, I could totally see myself coming here often. And if you come around the sunset, I bet the view would be amazing. I felt like I had checked out all the good spots for flying the drone. And since it was my last day in Athens, I should have just headed back to my Airbnb to pack for the next city. But the thought of leaving Athens made me restless, so instead I kept moving, trying to squeeze in just one more place. I've always hated winter because I get cold so easily. But Athens' surprisingly warm winter weather made me hate it just a little less. I watched my last afternoon in Athens for a while before heading back to my Airbnb. I opened the sparkling wine I had been saving for my final night.